never gonna back down. She ready. Ooh, yeah, she wearing that crown. She ready. Ooh, she ready. She walking and talking, no faking, creating.
And hola, ¿cómo están, my loves? It's Tori, the hope dealer of guided intuition, and welcome to my channel. And in this video is dear to my heart. Chiron, the Wounded Healer, is in retrograde, okay? And it will be in retrograde all the way until December. This is highly important because if you don't know what Chiron represents in astrology, aka Toriology, because I'm not an astrologer, but I love astrology, so it's Toriology. If you don't know what Chiron means, I'm going to be breaking that down through my intuition and what spirit gives me. But Chiron is highly important. If you are a person that is fueled by your destiny, whether you want to call it a purpose, if you're a light worker, if you're a person that, you know, desires to leave your legacy, a print, make a difference in the world, Chiron is highly important to you. Chiron is highly important to me because I identify as Chiron. Most people wouldn't, but I do. Okay, Chiron the Wounded Healer, honey, that's me. Period. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down exactly what Chiron means through my intuition and what that is going to mean in your life as far as Chiron being retrograde. So why is this so important? And I can't believe a lot of people are not really talking about this because this is like major. Okay, I'm talking major. The fact that Chiron is in retrograde. But anyways, enough of all of that. Let's go ahead and get into this video and into this message. Here we go. Chiron represents our deepest spiritual wounds, okay? Chiron represents our deepest spiritual wounds. It's kind of like, if I could put it into a shorter term, Chiron is that nightmare where you survive and you get to tell your story, but yet it's still highly traumatic is what I want to say. It's your why in life, you know, like it's the reason that your life will forever be altered, okay? And I feel like we all have something in our life that has happened to us that we are forever changed. Another thing, I really feel like if you identify as a healer, a motivator, just someone that desires to leave an impact on the world, I really believe Chiron is the reason you reincarnated here. It's tied to your destiny. It's tied to your existence. It's tied to why you do what you do and how you do it. In a nutshell, it's a major part of your evolution. It determines the perspective and the way that you see life. It's your why. It's your gift. It's your meaning. It's your story. It's your testimony that whatever you endured and you made it out on the other side, you're able to shine light and help others, okay? It's kind of like it's your blessing and your curse. And I want to say that because it's all about your perspective when it comes to Chiron. This is why they call Chiron the Wounded Healer. We can let those things, let's go back to the analogy of the nightmare, you know, like in a horror movie, they finally escaped the house. You can allow that traumatic situation or that life-altering situation, you can allow it to keep you in bondage, to keep you in fear, to keep you in a cycle of why you do what you do in a negative sense, or you can allow it to liberate you, allow it to be your reason and your cause and your why for life. You get what I'm saying? That's why I feel like it's your blessing and your curse. It's the reason why you do what you do. The example that I want to give about that is the reason why you do what you do is, let's just say two young boys grew up with a father who was an alcoholic, okay? And you know what entails with having a father or a parental caregiver that drinks alcohol. You know, there's probably abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, you know, just not showing up and being a great parent. Okay. So two boys seeing their father in that example. They both grow up. One ends up drinking and the other one doesn't. And when someone asks both of them, you know, asks one brother, why do you drink? And he says, because I seen my father drinking. And then they turn around and ask the other brother, why don't you drink? And he says, because I seen my father drinking. Do you get what I'm seeing here? So Chiron is that thing that impacts your life, and it's super traumatic. It's super life-changing. However, you can let it impact you in a negative sense where it sends you down a spiral of becoming the very thing that you hate, or you can allow it to forever transform you for your greater and because of that, become something even greater. Okay. Another way that you can look at Chiron that I would like to say, it's kind of like it's your shadow and your light. You know, it's like that dark situation or lesson that you learn, or you keep taking until you learn it. Okay. That will forever change you. It will be your greatest victory. It's like a two-edged sword. Some of our greatest victories will come through our deepest pains. And that is what Chiron represents, our deepest pains. The very thing, I can't get away from the very thing of why we show up in the world. You know, and I'll get to that and how it applies to me and how you could possibly apply that to your life. I heard this quote, it really stuck out to me, and it was on a podcast that is phenomenal and incredible. You should check it out if you can. It's called We the People. Okay. I'll put the link down in the description box, but it's an awesome podcast. And I remember him saying something. Some of our darkest moments, if we process them, they will be the light for others to see. When I heard the individual talk about that, it really moved me, and it forever changed my life, because I really feel like that. You know, it's that thing that you went through and it didn't break you, and you made it out of it. I'll give my example. Another way how Chiron will show up in your life, as far as it's the reason why you are who you are and why you do what you do. For me, self-love. Why do you think I'm an advocate for self-love? Because I know how it feels to not have self-love, to not have self-worth, to not feel like I'm accepted, to not feel like I have a place, to not feel like my voice matters. So I had to go through a journey of really finding my voice, really pouring that self-love into me, you know, working through my abandonment issues and all of the aboves. And if you are anyone who's ever identified with those things that I said, you know, in a lower state, what that can look like as far as pursuing your dreams, as far as, you know, getting into toxic, unhealthy relationships, just really out here being the doormat of life. And this is why I'm an advocate of self-love, and kind of like what I stated in that poem that I wrote, this is why I do what I do. So, you know, another example that a professor gave about Chiron, it's the reason why a counselor or a therapist becomes a therapist, because they know what it's like to not have anybody. You know, they know what it likes to feel like you're going crazy in your mind. So it's usually that thing that propels you in your destiny. You know, if you're used to being abandoned, if you're used to being in relationships that don't serve you, if you're used to being the doormat of life, Chiron is going to be retrograding in Aries. All right. The first word that comes to mind when I found out that Chiron is going to be retrograding in Aries until December was confront. Okay. Aries is not I want to say, quiet energy. It's not a a subtle, simple energy. I've never met an Aries like that. Every Aries is a life of the party. Every Aries is passionate. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're either fully in or fully not in. They're very passionate, even when it comes to anger, even when it comes to expressing their joys and happiness. Like, whatever they do, they always do it full throttle. Chiron retrograding in Aries, it's going to have you confront some things. A lot of it can show up in different areas of your life, like questioning your path, you know, aligning with your path, making sure that, you know, hey, is this really authentic to me? Is this relationship good for me? You know, is this path that I'm walking good for me? Is this thing that I'm indulging in, is it good for me? You're going to see a lot of cycles come up for everybody on an individual level with whatever that thing is, and only you know that, okay? But I want to like tell you some of the things that could possibly come up in different areas of your life, whatever your Chiron is. Mine is self-worth. Okay, self-worth. So of course, Aries is going to have you confront that issue. You're going to have to take it head on. And to top it off, we have a full moon in Aquarius coming up in the month of August, if you're watching it here. Okay, anything around your spiritual wound, and when I say spiritual wound, this is internal. This is something that's internal going on, okay? You're going to be confronting things that are internal, that have you, you know, doing things external that flares up that wound. So you're going to have to confront it so you can take care and nurture that wound. But some of the things that are going to come up, it could be unworthiness, inadequacy, shame, not good enough, embracing your uniqueness and individuality. It's all about overcoming these things. You know, this is how you're going to nurse that wound. This is how you're going to put yourself in alignment. Chiron in retrograde in Aries is going to basically, I'm sorry guys, I'm literally reading my notes, to help you confront the things that keep you from this beautiful transformation that is you in your life. And when I say that, it's going to confront the things that keep you looking at it from the brother's point of view, who continues to drink and be his own demise because he's seen his father drinking. And you know, this retrograded Chiron could face confronting all of those things that I named is going to help you stand in that brother's energy, where he allowed seeing his father drink empower him to be the change that he wants to see. And he has forever a notion of why he won't drink, because he knows the pain and the suffering and just the nastiness of indulging in that and not, you know, liberating or honoring that light. A lot of people say that it's about healing, Chiron the Wounded Healer. I don't believe that, because I believe that it's your why. I don't know, there's a Bible verse. There's a Bible verse. It's like someone had a thorn in their side. I know if my spiritual mom is watching, she's going to drop it down in the comment section. I'll pin it. But like, don't kill me. Paul or Peter, someone had a thorn in their side that, quote unquote, I want to say like God could remove, but he didn't, because that thorn in your side is always going to push you. It's going to feed you. It's going to fuel you. Kind of just like, let's give this self-love example. Me struggling with unworthiness, not accepting myself fully, it pushed me to a place where I had to find these things deep within myself, because I was looking for it outside of me. The reason why I feel like you can't heal Chiron, which most people say you heal, you know, you can't heal Chiron. It's kind of like when you get a leg amputated. You're never going to grow a leg back. However, You are forever changed by your leg being amputated or cut off, because I don't want to mess up these words. Or if you lose an arm, you're forever changed about it. It doesn't mean that you can't fully live life, get a, you know, a prosthetic arm, did I say that right, or leg, and still like overcome it. Like, look at the people that join the Olympics. They don't let that limit them. They let that empower them. They're forever changed, and they go out in the world and, you know, do great things and live a more even fulfiller life, even if they would have had the leg. So it's not that you cannot I don't want to say like overcome it, because it's not about overcoming it. It's about allowing this situation to propel you into your destiny, your authentic path, your truth. It's like, it's one of those things that alter your life forever. You can never go back. There's nothing to go back to. That's the mindset that you have to look at Chiron. So you're always going to be aware of that, because you're always going to be aware of your why. You're always going to be filling myself up with self-love, self-worth, and self-acceptance, because I know what that looks like when I don't. The moment that I stop giving myself that, I will be in a spiral downhill. You get what I'm saying? So it's not something that you can heal. It's something that you become to understand about yourself. And this is why full acceptance of your light and shadow is necessary. A lot of people only want to live from their light, but no, you just can't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's just not realistic. Life is duality. So, you know, with coming into your purpose, with coming into your destiny, your dharma, because this is what Chiron initially does to the people that choose to allow that nightmare to liberate them and be the reason why they start the organization, why they show up and they're honest. It's your why. It's the why that you do things. So it's highly incredible. It's highly purposeful. So I don't feel like it needs to be changed. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but that's why I feel like, you know, a lot of people say that it's about healing Chiron, but I don't believe that. It's not about healing it. It's your why. I feel like we have all been places that we will never go back to. It's kind of like escaping a horror movie. You escape the Nightmare on Elm Street. Your life is going to forever be changed by that. But you can live it in a state of fear, or you can live it in a state of liberation. So this could come up in your career. This could come in your relationship dynamics. This can come up with your self-worth. This can come up in just a combination of everything in your life, with it being in retrograde in Aries. This come up in your spirituality. This could come up about your dharma and really aligning with your destiny, with your why you're here in the world. Okay? I'm going to link a video down below that really breaks down the archetype of Chiron to understand that why it, you know, you can't ever heal it. It's about not trying to change it, because you can't. You have to find how to live with that poison and how to control it. You get what I'm saying? So there are certain habits and certain things that you know to do, and certain habits and certain things that you know not to do. And I feel like that's going to be coming up for us as a collective and in your own personal life. Another thing about Chiron, okay, that is going to show up. Chiron is usually the very thing that we can give out or have no problem doing for others or seeing it for others. But we have a problem sometimes seeing it for ourselves and giving it to ourselves. It's like your greatest teacher. The lesson in this lifetime is for you to learn how to give it to yourself. Like I'll give this example. If you easily give love to others and accept other people's flaws, but usually it's hard for you to turn around and maybe give that love to yourself or be okay. You expect yourself to be perfect. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like learning how to balance that out. Whatever you can freely give to others, but it's hard for you to give to yourself. It's about mastering giving that to yourself. Okay. And I feel like this is what pushes you on a spiritual journey, into a spiritual path, a spiritual development, a spiritual journey, a self-love journey, of connecting with your truth so you can be able to nourish you and give that to yourself. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of the thing that propels your life in a different direction, that it'll never be the same. You know, let's just say if you were abandoned as a child by a mother figure or a male figure. So your interaction, or you didn't, or abandoned it, but, or say if your parents were in the house, but you didn't get that nourishment, you didn't get that love, you know, you didn't get that from your mother or the mother figure of your life, or you didn't get that, you know, the stability and the security that you needed from your father, which we view as the masculine energy, who we look to for that. If you were out of balance in any of those areas, or you didn't get what you needed from any of those areas, then you can in turn have abandonment issues when it comes to women or men. So usually I'll just say with fathers. For me, I in turn saw my father, that security, that stability. However, I was looking for something that I felt I was lacking. So in turn, in order to have something on the outside, we first have to have it within us. But I had abandoned it. I was abandoned. Oh my God, I always fuck this word up. I didn't have that security and stability within myself. So when I sought that out in partners and men, they were going to mirror that wound back to me, which will send you down a spiral of toxicity, being ghosted, being cheated on, lied to, manipulation, all of those things that go with being abandoned emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, all around the board. So if you have that, if you've experienced abandonment with women or men throughout your childhood, it can show up in that way, and you could be addressing that when it comes to your relationships, or just your voice, or how you show up in the world. You know, it doesn't have to be around relationships, but that's the closest example that I can give. But just say if you were a child and you weren't really allowed to speak your truth and your voice, and you were told to be quiet and, you know, and not to be seen, then in turn you could grow up not really know how to express your emotions, feeling like if you express your emotions, they're not going to be fully accepted. If you had to be, you know, taught to be hard and stern, you know, having that dynamic, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be hard for you to really open up emotionally, or if you know, it could flip-flop and vary. However, whatever it is that Chiron wound is for you, it's the why you behave the way you behave, why you do what you do, why you are the way that you are. Initially, if you nurture the wound, if you care for the wound, if you take care of it, if you pour in the very thing that you've been searching outside of yourself and through, I want to say people, because they're our biggest teachers in life and things, but you go within yourself and give it to you. Therapy, okay? Psychotherapy. I want to say, I always say pranic healing, but I always mess it. It's not a piranha in the Amazon, but no, pranic healing, whatever. That's my favorite thing. That is something that I love. It's like with energy. Oh my God, it's like my new favorite thing. Ooh, I freaking love it. Like dopamine right here. I love it. But meditating, you know, just being about going within and debunking and, you know, letting it out to fill it up with something different, something that liberates, something that's going to empower you. You know, it's initially turning your karma into your dharma, your destiny, your sauce. You know, and the thing about Chiron, you know, it's the very thing that makes you who you are and why you do what you do. But what you will find a lot will be ashamed of that, you know, ashamed of ashamed of it. Kind of like what I said in that poem about wanting to build a wall so high, but I realized with doing that, I shut out everything that could potentially hurt me and everything that could potentially set me free, you know, that would set me free, and not even potentially. So it's about letting those walls down and allowing the divine, allowing love, source, energy to just flow into you and heal you and help you process things. It's about finding, I love the divine source energy, but you know, what is that for you? Is it journaling? Is it going off on a cruise or a crusade, you know, and traveling different planets? And I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like what is it? It's finding something, finding that thing that's going to help you nurse that womb, to liberate you. You get what I'm saying? Versus deplete you. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Hope I'm making sense here. Because I feel like when you do that, when you turn that karma into your dharma, you realize and you see that you're going to allow it to empower you. It's going to be your hell and high water, guns blazing to victory, you know, energy, as I want to say. Like it's going to be around that. It's going to propel you forward. It's going to, you know, even when things get hard, you're going to remember what that feels like and why you do what you do, and it's going to keep you going. You get what I'm saying? It's going to keep you going. And initially, what that's going to do with you embracing that, Chiron, the Wounded Healer, and you allow it to liberate you, and turn, just by you being you essentially, the people that are around you have no choice but to forever be changed. You know what I'm saying? For the better. And in turn, they take a piece of that and they liberate their self, and it's just a domino effect. And I feel like collectively, you know, we'll all be in our truth. Yeah, that's my interpretation of Chiron, the Wounded Healer in general, and also how Chiron is going to be showing up in your life as it is in retrograde, revisiting all of those things that I said with unworthiness, inadequacy, you know, just really being okay with your quirkiness, your sensuality, your sexuality, you know, really expressing and being who you are. Because a lot of us tend to hide ourselves and code ourselves in the things that we think are us, but really are not us. Okay. You know, I can have a story. I'm not shy. I'm not timid. Okay. When you get to know me, like, damn, Tori is a whole party, you know, like for me, most people will look at me and just say, oh, Tori is so dainty and, you know, so cute, a little delicate teacup. But reality, when you get to really experience me, you find out that it's Hennessy in this teacup. And as much as I am cute and cuddable and nurturing, I am a scholar, I'm an intellectual, you know, it's more to me, and it's more to you. And Chiron is here to help you find and discover and deepen that connection with yourself about who you are and your why. So I hope that this video was informational. I hope that it moved and touched your heart. Thank you for allowing me to just spill out my little Toriology into your ear. Also, don't forget to check out the pick a card reading. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you will get a update when that pick a card reading is on the channel. Because I don't know if this is going to come out first, and you know how YouTube be uploading sometimes. We're going to talk positive though. We send YouTube all the love, you know, but make sure you put on that bell notification, turn it on so you'll get the update of Chiron and retrograde and what that means to you in your life. Pick a card reading. Okay, I love you guys so much, and don't forget to check out the poem that I wrote, and I break it down about how perfectionism is falling as a collective, as a whole, and we are all stepping into a more authentic you and me, okay, and us. Yeah, so I love you guys so much, and I will catch you on the channel. Take care.